Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? Hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Sunday, my favorite day of the week. Oh, banging the... I have still not put that table together yet. I still have not put that table together. It's going to be a fall-winter table, I guess. Well, we'll use it for next summer. But it is sitting in the garage, and so is... in a box. It's sitting in the garage, and so is... I should probably do that video this week, putting that table together. Or maybe I'll just put it together when I get my mums. If I get my mums. When I get my mums, I'll put the table together. And then I also still have in the box in the garage my new... I call it a TV tray. When other people see it, they're like, oh, your little computer desk. Because it's like... Anyway, you can see it's like this little... This is what you guys are sitting on. This little, like, computer table TV tray thing out here that I've had out here forever. But I have both of those in the garage I still need to put together. Well, this one I don't think I have to put together. You just pull out of a box. And, I mean, that one's pretty easy. So, anyway, let's do a little time and temperature check. It is currently 3:36 p.m. on this rainy Sunday afternoon. We've had rain now for like 3 or 4 days straight. And then the temperature is, it's actually kind of warm today. Let's see what the temperature is. It's warm and muggy today. Now it'll say it's like 62 or something, watch. It's pulling up. It's 69 and cloudy. It feels warmer than that. It feels like almost 80. It's very, very humid. Let's see what the temperature is supposed to be like this week. Oh, tomorrow's 76. Tuesday, 79. 71, 78. Oh, it is going to be 80 this week. 80 on Friday, 75, 77. We have a warm start to October already. So, who texted me? We have a warm start. Well, it's not October yet. Tomorrow's the last day of September. Can you believe it? It seems crazy. I feel like I've been saying that to everybody. I've said it to Alex twice. I said it to him today on the way to brunch, and he was like, you said this a week ago. And I was like, did I? And he was like, yeah, you said this a week ago. And then I've been saying it to like everybody on the phone. Can you believe it's like we're in the last week of September? They just like laugh when I say it, like it's the stupidest thing. But it feels like September went really, really fast. I feel like it was just yesterday that I was talking about the pool closing. Now we're already into October. And let me just tell you that the pool still has water in it, and all the chairs are around the pool. And it's going to be October in 2 days. Tomorrow's the last day of October. So, anyway, how are you guys doing today? Sunday, my favorite day of the week. My husband is upstairs with little Boo Radley in bed. And, they are watching, last night he was like, I don't know what to watch. I don't even know what to watch. I'm like caught up on all my shows. Well, I'll tell you what we watched last night. Alex and I watched that we started. And I said I wasn't going to start it because not all the episodes are out. But we started it last night. It was fantastic. And that was Grotesquerie. But I'll talk about that in just a second. So after that, Alex was like, I really, really needed a nap last night. And so Alex was like, I want you to like lay down for like an hour and a half. He's like, so if I'm watching a show, because Boo Radley was like pacing a little bit in the bedroom. So he's like, let me just watch a show, you know, and he'll be fine and whatever. So he was like, but I don't know what to watch. And so he's kind of going through Netflix. And I was like, you know what I think you might like is The Lincoln Lawyer. And he was like, you think I would like The Lincoln Lawyer? I was like, yeah, the first 2 seasons are out and the 3rd season's coming out. I think it's October 17th. I just made a list of all the shows I'm excited about seeing in October. I'm not going to say it on here today, so let me know in the comment section below. Do you guys think I should do a whole video about that on my Peter Watches TV channel? Like all the shows I'm anticipating in October. I mean, I have quite a few. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 shows in October. There are some really, really good shows that are coming out in October. Some true crime shows, some scary series. Well, Heartstopper's on here, and so is the new season of Lincoln Lawyer. Comes out on the 17th. So, should I do that on my Peter Watches TV channel? Tell you guys all the shows I'm anticipating for October. On BookTube back in the day, we would do like our most anticipated books for like I never did a lot of those videos. I think I did like 1 or 2 of them because I didn't really know a lot of the books that were coming out. But anyway, I'm going to do a recap of last night and then do a little update on Boo Radley, which there's not really much of an update because he is doing really, really well. We are 3 days seizure free, and I'm so, so happy about it. And last night was, it just was, thank God, it was like our best night yet, and he's doing so good today. And I've been feeling a little bit of cabin fever, honestly, and so we had no plans to go to brunch today. Like, we weren't going to go to brunch. We got up, and we were just like watching TV and stuff because we just didn't want to leave the house, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And so Alex is actually going to set up some cameras in the house because we were talking to our friend at brunch today, and she was like, oh, I have like friends of mine that like their dog has seizures and whatever, and so they have like cameras up in their house. And Alex was like, that's a really good idea. And since we already, because he ordered like so many cameras for outside of the house that we have extras, and so he's going to put them inside the house for like Boo Radley. So anyway, I was taking Boo Radley out earlier today, and one of the things I noticed, I've been wanting to say this, like I meant to say this in last night's vlog, but I forgot, so I'm glad I remembered it right now, is that when he wasn't feeling great and we would take him outside, his tail was like down. Boo Radley's tail is always up and like in curl. His tail was like down, like, and that for me has always been a sign, like when he doesn't feel good. And the last 2 days, his little tail has been like up. I literally just took him outside before I started vlogging, and they're across the street. Like I would like walk him down, and then I like walk him across the street so he can walk in each person's yard. It's in the yard where the guy passed away. There was these 2 squirrels, and they were like chasing each other around and like running up the tree. And like Boo Radley saw them, and I thought, he's never gonna like pay him any attention, because he doesn't really pay attention anymore to like dogs that are barking in the yard. I mean, he'll like look, but he like doesn't like get excited. And he ran after. I was like, Boo Radley, we're gonna run after Thumbelina the squirrel. And he like ran after a little bit, like he got excited and like ran after. Then he kind of like, because they ran up the tree and like he stopped, you know. But it made me really happy. I was like, okay, he's getting back to himself. And I feel a lot better because, so Alex has I have like, I think I have like 2 friends that have dogs with seizures, and one of my friends has like gone to the vet and like, I mean, had to like change medications a lot and whatever, and she's really been helping me a lot as far as like, okay, like I think everything I go to with, because he's older and stuff like that, that this is the end. And she's been like, you know, listen, if this medication doesn't work, you add a medication. Like we've had to change like our medication so many times with the dog to get like the right dosage and things like that. And then I have another friend, and she basically has told me some of the same things. All 3 of my friends have, well, that friend I've like talked to a lot, but all 3 of my friends have like reached out to me about this and stuff like that. Well, Alex has a really good girlfriend that has a dog that has seizures as well. And so she sent Alex this link to this group of like dogs with neurological issues. And so Alex was like, this really helped me. He's like, I think you should read it. He's like, I think it will reduce a lot of your stress and panic. And so I was just like reading all these posts in there that people were saying last night, and it was like, I would say like it was almost like every other story was like exactly what we're going through with Boo. Like with the pacing. I mean, it was people that were saying like, our dog just got put on Keppra, and like we've noticed that there's like increased pacing and things like that. And then like somebody else would comment on it, and they would say, our dog did the exact same thing on Keppra. It takes a week or 2 to kind of get into their system. And then they'd be like, yeah, but they were pacing before that. And they're like, yeah, because it's a neurological issue, but once you take the Keppra, like you'll notice over a course a couple days, like the pacing will slow down, it'll change. Well, we're already noticing that the pacing is changing. And it was so helpful to read this. Like, I was posting, there are people that have gone through almost identical things that we had gone through. I mean, some people in there said, I think also in the discussion of like the dog dementia and things like that, people were like, because most of it was like, this just came out of nowhere. Like we did, like exactly, I mean, I feel like some of these things I'm reading are like exactly like what we went through with Boo. And then people are like, this is what our vet told us, and it's like the exact same thing that our vet told us. And I'm like, it's just really nice reassurance. And so I went through and I read all this stuff like that. It was super helpful. And all these people were like, you know, if this doesn't work, then try this. And like, you know, a couple of people were like, our dog, like Keppra didn't work, so then they had to like add phenobarbital to it, and now they're on both of these. Or it was like, I don't know what they said exactly, but it was like different things like that. So anyway, or I mean, I think maybe they added the zonisamide to the Keppra, which I'm on zonisamide and Keppra, and so, not the phenobarbital, or like one of them switched from like Keppra to phenobarbital, but it was a lot of like helping different things, and like how to help your dog feel like more comfortable and more relaxed as you're going through this change and things like that. And a lot of people said that the pacing, they originally thought, like this one post was like, it was like literally everything that I went through. It was like, we first thought it was like, that it was possibly dog dementia. Then we thought that our dog got like hurt, that it was like our dog was in pain. And then it was like, and then our dog had a seizure. And I was like, oh my God, this is like exactly what we went through. And then we were like, we went to like the vet like 3 times and they couldn't really figure it out. And they thought it was pain, blah, 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 whatever. And we finally, like the dog had a seizure, and so they knew that something was going on. They put it on the Keppra, and the vet was like, well, hopefully if it's neurological, that will reduce the pacing as well. And then this person said, she said her vet told her that the pacing would increase at the beginning with the Keppra. And so she said, so we were kind of prepared for it, and she was like, but over like 2 weeks, the pacing greatly reduced, the schedule got more normal and things like that when the medicine got like into a system. It was interesting because I was saying this to Tanya, and she was like, do you remember when you like started this medicine? She was like, you felt like more alert on it and things like that. I'm like, that is true. Like, I remember when I started like the Keppra, I don't remember like with either one of them, like feeling, with the Depakote or the Keppra, I don't remember feeling like any great changes with it. But Tanya was like, you weren't really hungry, which is interesting because Boo Radley is really hungry. He's been eating a lot. She was like, but, she was like, I could tell a huge difference, like, just talking to you on the phone when you were on the Keppra versus the Depakote. So I don't know, maybe, you know, I mean, obviously it's going to affect humans differently than it's going to affect dogs, but it was so helpful to me to read all that kind of stuff. So I read that last night. I'll get to last night in a second. But anyway, so today I was taking Boo Radley out, and, he was just kind of like hopping around and whatever, and my neighbor and her husband were out, and they were just like cleaning some stuff out of their garage and stuff like that, and so she was asking me how he was doing and whatever, and I said he's doing much better. And so he came over to her and he like talked to her and whatever, and she was like, are you guys going to brunch today? And I was like, no, I think that we're just gonna like, you know, stay around here because we, you know, want to make sure that he's okay and whatever. She's like, you guys are only ever gone for like 45 minutes or an hour to brunch. And I was like, I know, but blah, blah, whatever. And she was like, you guys should go. And I was like, we just kind of decided that we're going to stay around here. This is why I love my neighborhood so much. Okay, this is why I don't know that in my, I mean, maybe when I was growing up, neighbors were so much like this. So she like looked at her husband, she kind of like smiled, she looked at me and she goes, do you want me to sit with him while you guys are gone so that you guys can get out of the house? She's like, Peter, you haven't been out of the house in a couple days. And I was like, you don't have to do that. I was like, no, not at all. And I was like, because their dog is like much younger, and so I like didn't think this would be like the greatest thing, and I was like, I really appreciate it. And she was like, not to bring him over here. She was like, I was like, well, no, but I said, don't even worry about it. She's like, I could just come inside and sit inside with him while I read a book. And I was like, no. I was like, no. I was like, I really appreciate that. That's really kind, but no, you don't have to do that at all. And she was like, well, we kind of already talked about it. She was like, I was going to offer it to you guys. I was going to come over there and knock, but I thought that I would just like see you guys there. And I was like, I really appreciate it. That is so sweet. And I said, but no, I said, like, you don't need to do that at all. I still to this day, like, I'm better at asking people for help in like situations like that. I mean, that's not even a help situation. That's just being kind, right? But I still struggle. And she like walked over to me and she was like, Peter, she was like, you have to take care of yourself while you're going through this. Their dog, well, obviously they have this new dog, but they had an older dog that passed away right at the time that like PP started getting sick. And they really went through it. Like, the dog would like go around the backyard and like he got very confused. They had to like walk with it everywhere they went and stuff like that. And so she came over and she was like, remember what we went through with, you know, this dog? And she was like, you have to take care of yourself. She was like, you have to take care of yourself. You haven't left the house in a couple days. You need to get out of the house. She was like, you haven't left the house since like, you know, all this, like since going to the vet. And I was like, okay. And she's like, so I'm going to go get my book and you guys go get ready. And then I'm going to come over there and I'm going to sit with him for a little bit. She's like, is he fine? I was like, yeah, I was like, he's you know, right here. He's been good all day long. Cause she's like, looked down at him, you know, she's like, he's going to be fine. She's like, I'm just going to read my book and whatever. So she went inside to go get her book and Boo Radley like followed after her. I was like, Boo Radley, come over, like walk in the yard. So then he like turned around and whatever. But his tail is turned up. So anyway, so I came inside and I said to Alex, I was like, you know, I told him that she had offered to do that. They're so nice. All of our neighbors are just so unbelievably nice. And he was like, are you kidding me? And I was like, no, she like offered to, you know, come over here and sit. He was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, do you think we should go? And I was like, she kind of isn't taking no for an answer. And he was like, okay. He was like, let's go. So we just got dressed. I mean, I literally threw on this Whitney Houston t-shirt that I washed last night and some shorts I washed my face. And, yeah, so, and then she came in, and when she came in, like, Boo Radley was eating a treat in the kitchen, and she goes, where do you want me? I was like, you can just, you know, our living room, because she's been in our house a bunch. I was like, you know, our living room, you can just sit over here on the couch, and she's like, okay. I was like, do you want me to turn the TV on for you? She's like, no, I'm just going to sit here and read my book, and whatever, for book club. And so she was like, is he going to be fine? I was like, yeah. So, so when we came home, I mean, we were literally like gone like 45 minutes. I was like talking and I was like, okay, we gotta like I looked at Alex, he was like, yeah, it was time for us to go. So we were there, we were gone a total of probably like 45 minutes. So we came home, and we walk in, and she's still sitting on the couch in the exact same place, right? And I said, is he good? And she was like, yeah, he's totally fine. He was like, he walked around like 3 or 4 times in the kitchen. He kind of like looked at me for a little bit, and then I heard him walk up the stairs. And she was like, a couple minutes later, she was like, I hope you don't mind. I was like, no, I mean, our bed's made, our room is fine, whatever. She's like, I just walked upstairs, and she was like, he was just sleeping in his little bed on the floor. I was like, and she's like, he's been there ever since. So I was like, I really appreciate it. She was like, Peter, anytime. She was like, anytime. We tell you this all the time. If you need a ride anywhere, we'll take you anywhere. She was like, anytime you and Alex need to get out of the house, she was like, we're more than willing to look at Boo, willing to watch over Boo. And she was just laughing, and she was like, she's so sweet. And then she was like, as she left, she was like, she looked at Alex, and she was like, y'all, we need to do another dinner where we have margaritas. Because the 3 couples, and we all went over to her house, and that was when she made all like the vegetarian meal and stuff for us. And she made all these like margaritas, different kinds of margaritas for them and stuff like that. So anyway, he was like, yeah, we need to do that. She's like, I've been wanting to do it all summer. So anyway, so it was so sweet. And so, we like walked upstairs, and Boo Radley was like sleeping in his little bed on the floor. We walked in, he like looked up. I was like, oh. So that was really, really nice. I mean, this neighborhood is just, they're so unbelievable. They're just, I'm so grateful for this neighborhood. So before I get into TV shows and stuff, since I'm continuing to give updates on Boo Radley, I'm gonna give an update. So last night, I kind of like, it was better last night. I think the night before, because the electricity being out. First of all, I just want to say to anybody that was in the path of the storm, especially like in North Carolina and the East Coast and stuff like that, I'm like literally, like, prayers, positivity, love. I've seen so much stuff online. Tanya and I were talking about it last night. She's like, have you seen this stuff? I was like, yeah, it's devastating. I mean, like, whole town's gone. A couple people messaged me and were like, you know, I don't have a house right now. We're living with our in-laws. I just want you to know, I am so, so sorry, and I am sending all the love in the world. I just can't even imagine. And so I'm praying for everybody out there that was in the way of the storm. It's horrible. It's horrible. We've been checking in with like all of our friends that live like in Florida and around that area in Georgia. Most of them weren't really hit that bad. Most of them didn't even like lose electricity. They would say it like flickered on and off. One of our friends in Florida that was kind of lives north part of Florida, like their yard had like, I saw pictures and then we finally got a hold of them. It's a couple they're actually at our wedding, gay couple. It's Alex's friend from college and then his fiance. And they moved to Florida, and their house, like their yard has like 3 to 5 feet of water in it. And like couldn't even get in, like they have a long gated like entrance to their house. And couldn't even, like when he was coming home from work, like when it all started, couldn't even get into the driveway. Like had to, like his fiance had to like drive down like in the pickup truck and like go pick him up, and was like waiting. Like the pickup truck was like waiting, like they were worried that it was gonna like, you know, whatever. But everybody that we know that lives like south is doing okay. So to those people out there in North Carolina and to the East Coast and even parts of Florida and stuff that got hit really, really hard, I'm praying for you guys. I hope that you're safe. Please take care of yourselves, and just know that myself, and if we could all send some love to them in the comment section below, I think that would be fantastic. You know, I think it's in moments like that, like this is what my sponsor and I were talking about the other night, that it's like in moments like that, that I think everything that you think means something or is important in the world kind of like goes out the window, like when you're dealing with stuff like that. And seeing other people struggle with that, like really puts things in perspective for me. So, lots of love, lots of positivity, and lots of prayers for you guys out there. Everything I've seen online, it's just like total devastation. It makes me so, so sad. So I hope that you guys are safe and that you're taking care of yourselves. Okay, so with Boo Radley last night, was going to be the 3rd night if we made it through without seizures. I think the night before, because we didn't have electricity, it was kind of like this like weird night anyway. And so I wasn't really, like I was thinking about the seizures, but I was also thinking about like, I hope we just get like, if I thought about the seizures, I was like, I'm worried about him having a seizure like in the middle of all this with no electricity, and then how are we going to get out? Because we'd have to like manually open the garage door, which is not easy. So I was like, that was more my mind, other than I was worried about like, let's get through a night. But last night, well, yesterday was kind of like after I got done vlogging, it was kind of weird. Like, he would sleep for a little bit, but then he would get up and pace. I will tell you this one thing that we've learned yesterday and today is that the pacing, which I thought was sundowners, like originally, this is a thing, and I was telling like Tanya this, it's like, there's like 5 or 6 different things going on, and I feel like we're trying to look for like one answer for all 5 or 6 different things. When the reality is, he's an older dog, and they may have not all started on the same day. They may have like started like 3 weeks ago, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there. I mean, we don't know, right? I feel like we're dealing with 5 or 6 different things and trying to come up with a one answer, when there might be 3 different answers. He might be getting older. He might have beginning stages of, you know, whatever. He might have neurological issues and seizure disorder. And he might have, like, fallen and hurt himself. Like, we don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and, like, that's the hard part about having a dog, because they don't, or a cat, too, as well, you know? Like, they can't tell you what's going on. So, I think that's the hardest thing. One of the things, though, is that the pacing in the last 2 days, first of all, the pacing, the condition of the pace, well, let me just say this first. Okay, the pacing's changed. It's not just at night anymore. There is my favorite neighbor. What are you doing? You know, I always call you my favorite neighbor, but you know all of my neighbors are my favorites.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
How are you doing?
You're not watching the Colts game?
No.
No.
I know they're playing the Steelers, though.
I don't even know who they're playing.
You know how I know that? Because my friend that lives in Pittsburgh, she texted me and she was like, I should have come there because I guess it's here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was like, I should have come there so I could have hung out with you and my husband could go to the Steelers game.
Well,
Do you know it's only 69 degrees? It feels warmer than that, doesn't it?
it does.
It's like humid out.
Yeah, well, this.
I know, she's pointing to the wet ground. It's been like raining, I feel like 2 days straight.
It's a what?
It's been raining for like 2 days straight.
Then you lost power.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, we did too.
How long did you have it out for?
Over 12 hours.
We were like 24.
Whoa.
But you know what was interesting was, so I have my camera on, so please don't say names, but across the street, right behind you, so he was out talking to a van of this woman that was driving around. I think she lives over by you, her and her daughter. And like she was trying to see who had electricity and who didn't. So I walked next door to her house, and because we were both out, but they had theirs back on, but just didn't have internet. And so when I was walking over her, she was like checking it. She's like, no, it's not back on. Then her carriage lights flickered on. So I ran back over because I had turned this light on, so I knew it would come back on if the... And so I said to her, as I was saying to the woman in the van, I was like, did my light just come back? So she was like, we're going to go back around, because our electricity came on about, I don't know, like 4:30. I don't know what time it was, 3:30, 4:30?
On, and then it went off again.
Yeah, ours did that too.
Back on, and then I kept setting the clocks.
I did that too. But you know what? When ours came back on finally, she and I, there were still people in the neighborhood that still didn't have electricity for like a couple more hours.
Where to say, I found a map of the greater Indianapolis area.
Uh-huh.
It's just peppered everywhere.
Well, I thought I have this neighborhood figured out, like the grid-wise, but I guess I don't. I always thought we were connected with back that neighborhood.
No.
But it's not that. And then I thought we were all connected, but they had electricity and she and I didn't. So none of it makes any sense. And then down there, those 3 condos didn't have any.
There was a family at church that had triplets. They're teenagers.
Yeah.
And an older boy, so there's 4 kids. They live over in Avalon Hills.
Uh-huh.
And sort of a circle thing. I mean, really nice house. Really nice house. And they haven't had electricity since Friday.
Really?
And they still don't know what it's
There's a lot of people that are still out.
It's pretty, we're lucky.
Did you see the pictures from the East Coast and stuff?
The what?
The pictures from the East Coast?
Oh,
So sad, isn't it?
and that many people have lost their lives over there.
I know, so many people have lost their lives, and it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Lots of prayers going out.
So I have nothing to complain about.
Absolutely, I have nothing to complain about either.
Not at all. And have a good rest of the day and hope for no more of this stuff.
You too, sweetie.
See
It
ya.
was good seeing you.
You too.
Tell your husband I said hi.
I will. Tell your husband I said hi too.
I will. She's so cute. Yeah, it's so sad. It happened. God. I'm like in my head, like just I don't know. Okay, so back to the Boo Radley and the pacing. So, this is one of the things that we found out. So, or I don't know if we found it out, but before he was only pacing at night. So, a lot, like, I was, like, reading in, people were suggesting it. And don't ever, like, you know, worry about, like, anybody ever suggesting things. Any suggestion I get, I can tell you, if I feel like, if I get more than one comment, I always take it to my vet. And I'll say, like, you know, do you think this is, like, there's a couple things that, you know, like, people have there's been, like, 3 or 4 things that people have suggested to me, and I've, like, taken to our vet, and I'm like, is this a possibility? And the vet is like, yeah, that could be a possibility. Is that a possibility? No, absolutely not. That's not a possibility. And stuff like that. So, but any suggestions that you guys give me, like, I always take to my vet. With the doctor, it's a little, I mean, I don't get so many suggestions with Boo, like, but whenever I, like, go through medical things, it's like I get, like, 15, which I'm fine with all this, you know, but, like, I get, like, 15 different things. It's hard for me to take 15 different things to the doctor and be like, could it be all these things, you know, and he's like, I can't run all these tests on different things, you know, and, but when I get like 3 or 4 different things from, you know, you guys out there that are suggesting things about the dog, I always take it. I always take it. And so, like, and I keep it in my phone, and I'll be like, could it be this? Could it be that? Could it be this? And usually she's like, no, like, I know a lot of people are concerned about that, but I don't ever really see that. Or, no, that could be something, you know, like, whatever. So I just want to say I appreciate that. You guys giving those suggestions. So, but when I was talking about the dog dementia, a lot of people were commenting and saying, and not just online, but like friends of mine were saying that this could be dog dementia, it could be sundowners and whatever. Well, typically with sundowners, with like any kind of dementia, it happens like after the sun goes down, which is why it's called sundowners. Typically, it's like when night hits is when the pacing begins. Yesterday and today, the pacing has happened. There's been more pacing that's happened during the day. So, it seems to happen like a half an hour after we give him the meds. And then like an hour and a half after he takes the meds, he kind of like calms down. And then he's like ready for a nap. But last night, the pacing was much different. It was, and the night before it was much different, but last night was even better. It was just like, it's more, I wouldn't even know if I would call it pacing. It's just the regular walking around. It's kind of like back to the laps that I was talking about, remember? But like when Alex and I, he would say he's just doing his laps. It's kind of that. It's not really even pacing. It's where he just kind of walks around, he sniffs stuff, you know, like, he'll go and he'll, like, we'll hear him in the kitchen, like, eating at his food plate, drinking some water, then he'll walk around, then he'll run upstairs, and then he'll come back down the stairs, and he walks around a little bit. But it's not like this manic pacing. Like, I was laying on the couch last night, Alex was in the chair when we were watching the show, and he would, like, come over to both of us, he would, like, let us, he loves, like, I always, rub underneath his chin, he loves that. So, you know, like, Alex picked him up and held him for a little bit, I picked him up, but he wouldn't want to be held for a long period of time, he kind of wanted to walk last night, but then finally, we were watching the show last night, it just stopped. We were like halfway through the first show of Grotesquerie, and I was like, I haven't seen him here in a couple minutes. And so Alex paused the show, and we both walked upstairs, and he was just on his little bed on the floor, and he was just like, he's like looked up at us, and he was like sleeping, he slept there the rest of the night. And then we got done with the show, that was when I wanted to take a nap, and like, so, you know, I mean, it's just kind of up and down, but it's like we're getting to a more normal schedule. He's the Boo Radley that we had a couple weeks ago, and like, like I said, I'm just taking this day by day. Tomorrow could be absolutely horrible, and I could be like panic-stricken and freaked out again. I don't know, and I probably will be. It's my dog, you know? I love this little animal so much. It's like the people in my life I love so much. It's like, it's like when people back in the day, this hasn't happened in a long time, it was just a few people would say like, how long are you going to tell these stories to your mom? I mean, as long as I live, probably. She was my mom, you know? I love my mom. It's the same thing with Boo Radley. I mean, Tanya started laughing a little bit last night on the phone. She was like, this is why people, she goes, people ask all the time why you guys don't have kids. She goes, this is a really good reason. She was like, because this is the kind of parent that you would be, Peter. I was like, I know, Tanya. I was like, my kids' sneezes, I'd be like, oh my God, we gotta like go to the emergency room. She just started laughing and stuff like that. And so, she's like, yeah, but you kind of learn as a parent. She goes, with dogs, it's kind of hard because like they can't really communicate and stuff. She's like, I'm still like that with my dogs after all the dogs that I've had. So, I think talking to like my friends and like you guys giving me suggestions and stuff like that, and so many people have shared stuff with me, and in all honesty, and going through this, while I've been going through this, there's been several comments on the vlog, and several people have DM'd me that they've had to put their pets down or that their pets have passed away. And again, I just want to say, like, lots of prayers, lots of positivity, lots of love. I appreciate that in this really difficult time that you felt safe enough in this space to share that. Just to, I don't know, share the story and help. The battery stopped. I just think it's super, super kind that going through something so difficult like that, that you translated that story into a moment of like trying to help me with it, and I really, really appreciate it. And it really like puts me into this thing like, okay, like you have Boo for today, stop complaining because somebody else just lost their pet. And I just want you guys to know that I love you guys so much, and I think you know that, and I read those comments and I get those DMs, and it just, you know, it breaks my heart for you. It really does. And then I think it also makes me realize we're all kind of in this together, you know, as people that have pets and love animals and stuff like that. And none of it is easy. But I'm grateful for each and every day. And that's like one of the things that Alex and I keep on saying, is that we don't know that tomorrow, I mean, you don't know. Like with Tucker, it was like literally it just kind of turned around. You know, with Pee-Pee we had more time, but of like kind of getting used to the idea. But I'm hoping that this turns around and that this works and that Boo Radley's here for another, you know, couple years with us. But I don't know, you know. And so, but last night was pretty good. And so Alex was watching. I came downstairs because I wanted to start watching some TV. I really had a hard time napping last night. So he was like, I finally got up and he was like, did you fall asleep? I was like, a little bit, but I couldn't really sleep. I was too like, feel like I'm on high alert a little bit, you know? And so I said, I'm just going to go downstairs and watch some TV and whatever. And so this was, I don't even know what time it was. I finally got out of bed. I kind of just like lay there for a little bit and looked at Boo sleeping, and then Alex was watching Lincoln Lawyer, which she really likes, by the way. And so I was like, okay, I'm just like laying there in bed watching. So I think I finally got out of bed about it was like 10 till 12. And Alex was like, are you going to be up for, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be up for a while, obviously. I'm always up. He was like, because we have the different doses, like we have them all written down. So his next dose was at 2 a.m. And so, that was one of the things that we like contacted her about was like, can we like move it up to get him like on a regular schedule for during the week? And she's like, yeah, like an hour up, an hour down is totally fine. Like if you like, you know, whatever. It doesn't have to be exact. I mean, like it should be like every 8 hours, but like, cause tomorrow Alex goes to work early. He's like, wants to give him his first dose, like when he leaves, and then that'll make it easier through the week for our schedule as far as like us like keeping it on a regular schedule through the week. We literally have a notepad down by the medicine, and we have each of the meds that he has to get at each time, and then we check them off so we make sure like we don't, like one of us doesn't, like if he gives them I don't, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, so he was like, okay, well, so you can, because the next dose was at 2 a.m. And so he was like, you can give him his 2 a.m. dose. And I was like, yeah, that's totally fine. Well, when I got up, that was like when Boo Radley got up. And like he like walked downstairs, I took him out, and then he like went out for a little bit, and he didn't really do much. Like he just kind of like walked around, but I was like, that was when I noticed like the tail thing again. And I was like, I gotta remember to say about the tail thing, because it's so cute. Like his little tail's back up again. It made me so happy. And he was just kind of trotting around the yard and whatever. I took him inside. This dog has had so much food and so many treats in the last couple days. Which interestingly, our server that's also our friend at Patashi was just telling us that she has a friend, and that food is one of the ways that they like pull. I don't know anything about this, but like I've heard that dogs eat a lot after seizures, but that food will pull their dog. I've never heard that before, but this is just what she was sharing with us. They'll get like a piece of cheese and like the dog like comes out or whatever. So, but I don't know anything about that. That was just what she was telling us. I do know that Boo Radley has been very, very hungry in the last couple days. So, and I don't know if that's the medication. I don't know what it is, but he has, I mean, he's eating between 3 and 4 packs of food. One of the things we have noticed is that he's having a harder time eating. So we're having to like really spread it out on the plate. We've been putting it like on a paper towel on the floor. We've been putting it on the step. We've been feeding it to him by hand. Treats he doesn't have such a hard time with. But it's the food for some reason. I don't know why. He just like looks at the plate, and I feel like he's not getting anything up. So I kind of like spread it around, and then whatever. I feel like I've been washing my hands like 100 times a day. Probably more than that, literally. Because every time I touch a treat or food, because I'm a vegetarian, I wash my hands because I just don't like that meaty smell on my hands or that, you know, whatever. So Took him out, and then he went back to bed. And I was like, to be honest with you, I was kind of like, I kind of wished he would have stayed up and kind of walked around, because then I could give him his meds at 2 o'clock and then he'd go to sleep. But he went to sleep. I was like, well, maybe that'll be easier, because if he's asleep, because I said to Alex, like 20 minutes later, he was still watching Lincoln Lawyer, and I said, what time did he go to bed? I think he went to bed about 1. Because I thought he was going to bed when I got up, and I came downstairs, because that's when he asked me, he's like, are you going to be up? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, okay, well, I'm going to, like, I think he said he was going to watch one more episode. I don't even really remember, if you want to know the truth. So, so he went upstairs like a half an hour later. I was like, is he asleep yet? And he was like, I said, is he asleep, or is he walking? Because he was walking in the bedroom a lot. And the nightlight, I will say, is so helpful in the bedroom. Really, really helpful. So anyway, he said no, he's like asleep on the bed. And so he was doing great last night. So it was like 1:30. I don't know what time it was. It was like 1:20, 1:30. Nikki texted me, and she was like, what are you watching? I was just getting ready to text her, because I didn't know what to watch. And so I was like, what do you watch? I said, oh my God, I just almost texted you the same thing. And so she was like, I can't remember what she said she was going to watch, but she had told me to watch this show called, I just started on Hulu last night. What is this? It was called Out There or something, paranormal. It's like Unsolved Mysteries, kind of, but it's on Hulu. It's 10 episodes, and, hold on a second. So anyway, a couple people messaged me about it, and that was on my list. I was like, I think I'm going to start watching this. Okay, so anyway, I texted Nikki about that, and then Nikki was like, well, I'm going to start watching whatever. She's like, I want to watch something really scary. And I was like, you need to watch Grotesquerie. So, okay, this is what happened. Alex and I last night, we watched Real Housewives of Orange County. I'm completely caught up on all my shows. In fact, tonight, I'm really excited, because this is what I get to watch tonight. I'm trying to get Alex hooked on From. His brother watches From. He texts me about From all the time. Fufu does. Okay, my weekly TV shows. So tonight, I have Sister Wives coming on tonight. And then I have Big Brother coming on tonight, which I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of not even excited about Big Brother anymore. And we're like 3 weeks out from the finale, and I'm like, is there really anything else going on? Like, I'm so bored of the show. Anyway, and then From comes on tonight. So From and Sister Wives I'll watch tonight. Sister Wives I'll probably do my reaction to tomorrow over on my Peter Watches TV channel. I'm just filming my vlog today. I decided this. I was like, it's been really, really good for me, as hard as it has been. I mean, I've literally, like, started laying out stuff to review, and I'm like, no. Like, you need to just take another day off. And so, when we were at brunch, Alex was like, are you going to go back and film some videos? Because I'm just going to watch TV. And I was like, in my head, I was like, yes. I got this drama video that I wanted to make for I've got like 3 drama videos I want to make. I've got all these review things, you know. I've got like 20 TV videos. And I was like, in my head, I was like, yeah, I'm going to make a bunch of videos. But I knew as soon as I started when we got back that I would just like, I wouldn't stop until like 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. And then I was like, I think you just need to take another day. It's been actually, as much as I've missed making videos, it's been really nice just to relax last couple days other than just making my vlog. So I was like, okay, I think I'm just going to do my vlog today. And then after my vlog, first of all, I just want to say, when I talked about like taking some time off, there were like, if I, you know, taking days off and whatever, there were so many people that were like, I got some of the kindest comments. Like, what was the one comment I wanted to like respond to? So many comments were people, hey, how are you? I don't have my glasses on, but I was like, I think that's who I think it is. She was like waving at me. So she's on the board. But she likes me, so that's good. What was I gonna say? Oh, the comments. There were so many comments that were like, Peter, like, I sit here on video and I literally just like talk to you guys for like 45 minutes to an hour and a half, right? Like, I mean, let's just be for real. This is not hard, okay? This is not difficult. I'm literally sitting in a chair drinking coffee, talking to you guys, saying hi to my neighbors as they walk by. This is easy deal, okay? I'm not gonna ever act like it's not. And even people that have said, yeah, but it's time consuming. I'm like, but I love doing it. Like, if there's something that you love doing, do you go, oh, it's time consuming? No, because you love doing it, and I love doing this. But there were so many people that were like, Peter, like, you've helped me so much this time and through that time, but I really, really, there was this one comment, I really wanted to read it. It was such a nice comment. I know that I'm not gonna be able to find it now if I go back in here. Somebody said, please do the Hell House movies. There are 4 and they are so underrated. I'll have to look at those. Where was this one comment? Isn't the Sounds of Nature so nice? It's so interesting when I read the comments. Okay, this is something like, and I'm just going to say, for those of you that are comfortable doing this, I mean, I think we know I say all the time I'm 52 and all this kind of stuff, right? But it's so interesting, like, the different movies that people, or the different, like, things that people in here, they, like, suggest to me and they say. It's interesting to me. And so, I'm always kind of like, when people are like, oh, somebody said, Julie said, I think I saw there's another new season of Unsolved Mysteries coming out. Yeah, it's coming out. Do you guys want to know when it's coming out? Because I have it on my list for October shows. Unsolved Mysteries is coming out October 2nd. So literally this week. Okay, I will be watching that and doing my review on that. So thank you, Julie. I think Julie might be the reason. When did she post that? No, because it was last night. Somebody said something about it. And I was like, somebody said something about some show, and it, like, triggered me, and I was like, that's why, I mean, not triggered me in a bad way, it, like, triggered my mind to think, like, oh, I gotta go in and make a list for all the October shows. And then I was like, well, maybe I should start doing this on my Peter Watches TV, like, I should do my most anticipated true crime, my most anticipated shows, because I look up those articles. So I'm like, if I look up those articles, then maybe I should do those, and other people can recommend shows to me that I'm not aware of. I was asking for scary shows, and Stacy, who, by the way, has been so kind with, Stacy, your emails and stuff to me, and it's just been, I mean, she's constantly checked in about Boo Radley, and it's been so sweet. She said Army Wives on Hulu is not scary, but it's so good. Okay, I'm going to check it out, Stacey, because you know I do love a good reality show. Oh, by the way, everybody was saying Girl Interrupted. I don't know how I couldn't remember the name of that, but thank you guys for all those. Rachel said it underneath here, all the people. Oh, Rachel is so sweet. She said the glasses do not make you look older at all. You guys were so sweet about the glasses. My friend Valerie texted me today. She's like, I love your glasses, but you should have got bifocals. I love mine. I'm like, I can't do bifocals. That's gonna be the next move. Is probably bifocals. Where was the comment? It was such a sweet comment. I think it was from somebody that said they don't comment very often. I don't know why I feel like it was that. Somebody said something about getting a... Really, to be honest with you, the only thing I thought about this with was for the fan. But somebody said something about getting like a small generator that you can plug all your stuff into. I hadn't really ever thought about that. Oh, here it is. You should definitely invest into a small solar generator, one that can charge your devices. Sally said this. So thank you, Sally. Well, Caroline, and she said, made this comment before you mentioned that, Caroline. Caroline acted like I needed like some huge generator. First of all, we don't even have room for that. Katie said, did you get my email about Chalk from The Golden Bachelorette? I got to see him in person. I did not get that email. That's interesting. I mean, I read all my emails. I did not. But he's one of the guys. I think he's the guy. Oh, no. Maybe I did get it. If you said something, it was either in a comment or did you email me about, you're like, he's the one that goes to Disney with her. Maybe I did get your email. But anyway, he's the one that she goes to Disney World with. I like him a lot. There's something about him that's very kind of like, like Jack was like super, super fun. Like Chalk is like very kind of like reserved. I feel like she needs somebody a little bit more in the middle. But that's just, it seems like she wants that. I mean, she kept on saying, like, I need somebody that's going to have fun. He's like, yes, I'm having lots of fun at Disney World, Disneyland. I mean, it didn't seem like he was having a lot of fun. He was like, this is the most fun I've had in forever. But speaking of The Golden Bachelor, okay, this is what I was going to say before. It's always interesting when I read comments. I can never tell, and like, somebody commented on my video and said something about being like 23. And I always kind of think like the majority of my audience is between like, I would say, I don't know, like, 35 and 60. It's kind of interesting to me. I'd be kind of interested to know, like, if you're comfortable sharing it, don't please, you know, I don't want to ask anybody to share their age that's not comfortable doing it. But if you're comfortable sharing your age, I would be kind of interested to know, like, the ages of my audience in the comment section. For this channel specifically. The other channels I don't, to be honest with you. It doesn't really ever. But this, it's like, who is watching an hour and a half of me just sit on my patio and talk? So I am kind of interested in that. And especially because, like, I'll get comments and, somebody will say, like, I love the Terrifier movies, and I'm like, and then I'll look, and then they'll, you know, like, in another comment, they'll say something about being, like, 55, and I'm like, oh my god, this person's, like, the same age as me, and we both love horror movies. Like, okay, there are still, you know, I mean, obviously, I'm just making this up as I go, but it's just, like, interesting to me. And then people will reference, like, old shows, and they'll be like, oh my god, I love those shows. Like, I'll talk about, like, Welcome Back, Kotter, or whatever. Speaking of old shows, I've talked about this movie that I watched a little bit, but they'll talk about, like, Welcome Back, Kotter, or Love Boat, or whatever, and they'll be like, I love those shows. And then, like, I'll look, and they'll say, further in the comment, it'll say, I love those shows. I didn't grow up with those shows. I'm 30, but, like, when I was growing up, my mom would watch those shows, and I'm like, this is so crazy that, like, a 30-year-old's, like, watching all those shows, you know, that. So I'm kind of interested just to know, like, what the ages are of people that watch my videos, but don't feel, you know, don't feel like you have to share that if you don't want to. Where is the comment? This comment was so sweet. I think this is the one, the comment that I think, hold on, let me go through here. I think this is it, because now I'm, oh no, here was the comment. Susie said on The Golden Bachelorette, the one she went to Disney with, his name is Chalk. He's an insurance executive, 60-year-old old. He has a lot of class. He does have a lot of class. He just feels very, like, I don't know how to explain that. Do you remember the guy that sat and went on the date with, the one guy? That, like, he would come, his laugh was like, oh, like, he didn't think she was fun at all. Like, okay. I think this is the comment. I'm just going to read it anyway because it's such a nice comment. But somebody said, Amanda said, so glad that Boo seems to be doing better for the moment and that your power came back on and we get a 2-hour-long vlogs in a row. Very special. I lived in a rural area as a child where there were a lot of windstorms, power lines, and trees. So this time of year, we have outages very often. I remember reading by flashlight. Oh my god, Tanya talks about that all the time. Roasting marshmallows in our wood stove and eating hot dogs over the Coleman camp stove. When I was very little, my mom played her guitar, Joni Mitchell, and other 60s folk songs, as she was from that area. As I got older, it was playing my Game Boy till the batteries died while my dad ran out of our generator outside, but I still miss those early days. Mom and I playing cards by the candlelight and kerosene lamps, etc. Beautiful times and memories. I love this. I love the sharing of this. So thank you so much, Amanda. Like, this is just, it's so beautiful. And then she said, I deeply appreciate the 2 vlog special and your extended sign-off truly means the world right now. I still live in a rural area, but on my own now. Been like that for several years. Like you, I don't drive just for different reasons, and all the different little towns where I live are very spread out. So it makes it difficult for everyone to come together, or for me to get to where things are more often than not. More needs to happen in terms of more needs to happen in terms of togetherness with people. You bring so much warmth, light, and reassurance, and I deeply appreciate it. Sending much love. And I just want to say, like, that comment meant so much to me last night when I read it, and I just was like, it's weird because I've always said this. It's not me. It's not like I'm doing anything special on this camera just by, like, sharing what's going on with my day, you know? But there is a togetherness with the people that watch. I mean, you guys, a lot of you comment on each other's comments in, like, really, really nice ways and stuff like that. And, I think it's really, really sweet. And, yeah, and I think you guys are just, I think it speaks to your soul and your character on how you guys treat each other in the comment sections of the vlog. I've had several people through the years come over here and say, the comment section is so refreshing, people are so nice over here. That's your doing, that's not me, you know? That's not me at all. And I just want to say I think that that's really, 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 really sweet, and I loved reading that comment. So, and I do read all the comments. I know, sometimes, you know, I read them on here, and sometimes I just want you guys to know that every once in a while I'll get a comment, someone will be like, it's so funny because I'll be like, I've asked in 3 videos for you just to like say hi to me or whatever, and like, it's funny because like, that'll be like 3 videos where I haven't read comments, but then like I'll like heart it and like I'll say like, hi, how are you, or whatever. But I do read all the comments on all of my videos, so I just want you to know that. Okay, but about Boo Radley, so that was when Nikki and I were texting Okay, so Alex and I started watching last night. Let me get to this first. Alex and I started watching Grotesquerie last night. So he was like, watch the trailer for it. We watched Real Housewives of Orange County, got done with that, and he wanted to watch something else. Because it was still early. And so he was like, did you see the new Ryan Murphy Grotesquerie came out? And I was like, yeah. But I'm not sure I really want to watch all of it. Hold on, I'm going to look up something really quick. Hold on a second. About this show, because I wanted to say something else about another show. Okay, I was looking up something because I have that on my list for my show. I just remembered, so I want to think about that. But anyway, so Alex started watching the trailer, and I'm like, this looks so good. I love Niecy Nash, first of all. And I talked about this on the vlog yesterday, that I knew that my battery's at the halfway mark. So if I'm going to talk for a little bit longer, I'm going to have to go in and change the battery in a second. But I knew that it dealt with, like, alcoholic detective. So I thought that, anything that has to do with that kind of stuff I'm interested in. And I knew that it was supposed to be a good mystery. But I'll be honest with you, a lot of Ryan Murphy shows lately have been misses for me. The last American Horror Story was a complete mess. Monster, the Menendez brothers, I thought it was just okay. I wasn't real wowed by it. So I was like, I don't want to get super excited based on a trailer and then it be stupid. Do not sleep on Grotesquerie. Okay, first of all, I'm going to say this in my video I'm going to say this probably exact line. I was watching it last night. Niecy Nash's acting in Grotesquerie is literally impeccable. I mean, impeccable. She must have really studied for this role because, first of all, I love her anyway and everything she's in. She is so good in this. She is so good in this. So, it's about this detective, played by Niecy Nash, and she's really funny, but she's, like, really kind of hardcore in it, too. Like, there's a scene, this will not ruin it, where this woman's, like, talking to her, and she says, I will not be judged for my I will not have you or anybody else judge me for my long, exhausting, she goes, I will not have you or anybody else judge me for my long, exhausting life. And she goes, that part. Which now that's my thing, that part. I'm stealing that from her, just like I stole Beast from Alyssa Edwards and everything else. But anyway, so we watched the first 2 episodes. So it's about this woman, this detective, and she's solving these killings. And I'm not going to tell you anything about the killings, but they're grotesque. I mean, artistically, I mean, this reminds me really of, like, Longlegs was supposed to be like Silence of the Lambs. This reminds me of, like, Silence of the Lambs 7. I mean, this is really, really well done. I mean, it is artistically really well done. And then she kind of teams up with this nun that is also a journalist, but is really into true crime. And they team up together. You don't really know. And then the guy that played Lyle Menendez, he plays this priest. Which Alex is like, so this priest wears, like, red cowboy boots and has, like, Elvis pompadour. So we don't really know, and it's like he's real into, like, working out and stuff. More is supposed to come, okay? But you don't really know. There's, like, at this point, like, 2 episodes, it's kind of like it could be 3 or 4 different people. You guys, this is such a well-done series. I mean, if the whole season had been out last night, Alex and I would have stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning and binged it. It's that good. Do not sleep on this show. But I will say this, it's not for kids, okay? And it is not for the faint-hearted. It is really, really gory. So I just want to put that warning out there for you guys. It is really, really well done, though. So we watched that, and then after that was when I was like, okay, I'm going to try to lay down for a little bit. And Alex was like, I'm going to watch a show, and we came upstairs and whatever. So then when I got up, that was when I talked to Nikki, and then I, like, went inside and I, like, started the show. So I told her, I was like, you should watch Grotesquerie. So she's like, I'm gonna watch it. So we kept on texting each other all night long last night. So she was watching Grotesquerie and I was watching, I want to make sure that I know what the show is called on Hulu. Hold on a second. Hulu. Where's my list on Hulu? Come on, Hulu. What's Dr. Odyssey? Watch a series premiere. What is this? Looks like Love Boat. Max is a new onboard doctor for a luxury cruise ship where the small but mighty medical team navigate unique medical crises and each other miles from shore. Oh, it's got Don Johnson as the captain in it. Oh, Joshua Jackson from Dawson's Creek. Oh, I'm gonna add that to my stuff. Oh, the pilot's already out. Well, okay. Dr. Odyssey. What a cheesy name, though, right? Okay, so here is Grotesquerie right here on Hulu. And Detective Lois Tyrone feels a series of heinous crimes in her small community are eerily personal, as if someone or something is taunting her. At home, Lois grapples with a strained relationship with her daughter. The girl that plays her daughter is unbelievable. She is so good. A husband in long-term hospital care and her own inner demons. With no leads and unsure where to turn, she accepts the help of Sister Megan, a nun and journalist with a Catholic guardian. As Lois and Sister Megan string together clues, they find themselves ensnared in a sinister web that only seems to raise more questions than answers. There are so many things that are so small and good about this show. Okay, so the closer the sister, the nun, who's younger. And so Niecy Nash is always like calling her sister. And she's just like Niecy Nash, but like very serious in this. So she's like, sister, I have had a day. And so they're like this one part, they're like at this bar restaurant. And the nun sits down, and they're not even that close of friends yet. And she like sits down, and the nun sits down, she's like this. And Niecy Nash is just seeing this like most incredible like crime scene. And she's like this, and the sister sits down, she goes, what's up, babe? And Alex goes, did that nun just call her babe? I mean, there are so many like fantastic lines in this show. Okay, where is it at? Okay, here it is. It says, resume episode 2. I'm watching Lights Over Long Island. I might have to start this episode over. I was so bored. I was like playing solitaire, looking up shows online. Out there, crimes of the paranormal. Okay, so the first one is about lizard people. Well, I'll get to the show in just a second. But anyway, so I had to give Boo Radley his medicine at 2 o'clock. So I got his medicine already, like right like a minute before, and I took the 2 little like vial tubes. It's like, they're like syringes, but they don't have needles in them. It's just like, you know, okay. So anyway, there's my neighbor coming out. Is it her or him? I can't see. She's looking at her plant, so it's gotta be her. So I took his medicine up, and he is like asleep in bed. Well, as soon as I got on the bed, Alex woke up. He was like, do you want to do it or do you want me to do it? I was like, no, I can do it. I'm totally fine. And so I like woke him up a little bit, and like I put the first one in. But when I put the first one in, he like woke up. Then he was like awake, and he doesn't like it. So he like fights you a little bit. I mean, he's fine. It takes literally like 1/5 of a second. And so then I just like held his head back, and I got the other one in, and he was fine. But then he was up. So then he came downstairs. I took him outside. He pooped, peed, did all of his business, and put it in the compost pile, brought him inside, gave him like 4 treats. He was so hungry, he's eating his food, and he walked around, and I was like, okay, I have to just sit here and watch a TV show. He's been good all day long, because I was like, I can't continue to just like, you know, whatever. So, I like sat down, put my AirPods in, and I started watching this Out There show. I was texting Nikki, and about 10 minutes later, I took my AirPod out, and I didn't hear him. So I went upstairs, and I looked, and he was like in his little purple bed, and Alex had his arm around him, and he was sleeping in the bed. He was asleep, and he slept all through the whole night. Until Alex gave him his medicine this morning, and then Alex gave him his medicine at 10, and so, because we're kind of going back and forth with the medicines. And so, or giving him the medicine. And so Alex gave him his medicine at 10. I had my alarm set. He had his alarm set. They both alarms go off at the same, like literally like a minute apart. And so I was like, do you want me to give it to him or do you want to give it to him? He goes, no, I'm going to give it to him. I'll take him outside. So he took him outside, gave it to him. Well, then he paced for like the next hour and a half, 2 hours. So that's how we know it's the medicine, because before he wasn't pacing during the day. And he is like sleeping and like being up during the day. So we're hoping he'll sleep through last night, sleep through the night. But last night, he did great. He did so good. So I'm so happy for the little guy, you know? For today, I'm so happy. And I put a little picture up of Boo Radley last night on my Instagram. Over on my Instagram, I put this little picture of Boo Radley. Where is it at? Okay, I put this little picture of my Boo Radley. Another fake. Somebody stole my fake. They put it on their Twitter, and they have pictures of me and they have pictures of Alex's Aunt Jackie, Alex's mom, and his grandma with my arm around him. And then they have pictures of like me on New Year's Eve with that couple that we met like in Mexico. Like, they have the video of that on their Twitter. And they have 2.1 thousand followers, and it says, seeking for an online companionship here. This is where people think that I'm making this shit up. And then the first one is from 9/14/24. If I randomly followed you, it's because your DM is closed and I'm trying to reach you. And this gal reached out to me, and she said, hey, I just wanted to let you know that this guy just, like, followed me and DM'd me. And she's like, I've watched you for years, so I knew exactly who it was. And I was like, oh. I said, I'm so sorry. She was really sweet. She was, like, telling me all this stuff about her. I'm like, I'm really sorry that that happened. And she was, like, really sweet. So I put that up there with all my Instagrams. Oh, and the little Thumbling of the squirrel. She's trying to work out like her dad. And then, where it is. Mel, here's her post. Bats are just Halloween butterflies. I almost posted that too. That's why all of us are psychically connected. And then I put, hey, boo. And then I put, this guy, little guy, is my superhero. That was not taken at that moment. I actually had taken that earlier and posted that up there. But he is my little superhero. Look how well he's doing, little guy. He's doing so good. What was I going to say? Oh, so I ended up started watching the show. Nikki and I were texting back and forth last night. Oh my God, about this. She's watching Grotesquerie. She's texting me about that. She's texting me about what she baked during the day. We just like joke and text. Because everybody else that I know that doesn't stay up that late. So she said, actually she was up later than she usually is. She usually goes to bed by about like 1-ish, 1:30. She was up later last night. And so she's like, yeah, I'm going to bake tomorrow. I'm so excited to bake. She baked yesterday. She made cupcakes and all this kind of stuff. What was she going to bake today? Let's see. She told me last night. But then the camera stopped. Am I really at an hour already? I'm going to go and get the battery in just a second because I have a few more things to tell you. But first we must see what she is cooking tomorrow. Hold on a second. She promised her son they were going to cook cookies today. He was so excited about that. Okay, where is... I'm like going way up. Girl, Here, she's texting me about Grotesquerie, because this is like right at the beginning. So, she said the worst thing you can see boiling in a pot, maybe it wasn't a... Because we were trying to guess what was like in the show, what was boiling in a pot. And then, this is from the show Out There. I sent this to her. Because this woman goes, he took me into the woods and he said that, what did she say? A reptilian woman named Lacerda. I texted, this is our text, okay? This is the deep drama. I said, a reptilian woman named Lacerda looks like a cartoon to me. Here she is. This is the woman whose friend believed in reptilian aliens. But what was so weird about watching it was like before it, Nikki was telling me, she was like, yeah, the first one's about like this reptilian alien things. And I go, oh my God, I watched this whole documentary called The Devil That Knows You. I said, the first one's about this guy. I think I watched it on Amazon Prime. I think I had to buy it. But the first series is like 6 episodes and it's about this guy named Pazuzu that killed like all these people and was like a Satan worshiper and all this kind of stuff. By the way, Hysteria is coming out. That's one of my shows in October. It's about the satanic panic in the 70s. But then the second one is about this woman named Sherry Shriner. And Sherry Shriner believed in like reptilian aliens that had made a deal with like politicians in the United States and they were like really running our country. And she like passed away years ago. But the second documentary, The Devil You Know, is all about Sherry Shriner. I think her name was Sherry Shiner or Sherry Shriner. Well, they actually talk about her in the part 1 of this. But she was like a huge deal. She was making all this money because she was selling these rocks online. I was going to actually make a video about it on my drama channel. And I actually got like 3 DMs from people that are like, Peter, be very, very careful in doing that video. Because people take the reptilian alien stuff very, very seriously. And I don't want anybody coming for you. And that didn't really scare me, but... I watched a documentary so long ago. I think I watched it when I was in Florida or whatever. But that, if you want to watch a good documentary, I think it's called, hold on a second, I'll tell you. The Devil You Know, Sherry Shiner. Is that her name? Sherry. It's got to pull this up. The Alien Reptilian Cook. Sherry Shriner is the subject of season 2 of the Vice TV docuseries The Devil You Know, which if you watch it on Amazon, you have to buy, which explores for online reptile cult. I mean, is anybody out there, seriously? I would love for you to own this in the comment section. Does somebody really believe in this reptilian alien taking over our world kind of thing? I mean, there's not a whole lot that I don't believe in. I can't get behind that. I just can't, okay? And its connection to the deaths of all these people, I guess. Oh my God. So, she had this, like, Facebook group that she was running, and she had, like, 30 people. She had, like, 30,000 people at one point buying these rocks that she would sell for, like, $20 or $30, and you're supposed to, like, do something with these rocks. I can't remember. But then she would have them go play some places, and that was supposed to, like, protect the United States. It's so bizarre, okay? It was so bizarre. The battery's gonna stop. Hold on, I'm gonna go get another battery. Okay, I'm back. At some point, Boo Radley, I said to Alex, I said, is he asleep up there? He goes, yeah, they ran down there for a little bit. Now he's back up here and he's asleep. And I was like, he goes, why? And I said, because his food plate is completely empty. So I put more food out. I mean, this is literally like today, like the third or fourth pack of food he's eating. He's eating so much food. I don't know what's going on with it. I mean, I'm happy that he's eating, but it's better that he's eating than not eating, right? But I'm like, what's going on? His batteries suck. These batteries. Oh my God. Let me tell you what happened yesterday, okay? The real life of a YouTuber. Let me tell you about the real life of a YouTuber, okay? So I just wanted to relax and stuff yesterday, so I'm trying to get this second vlog up, right? Because, you know, the first vlog, whatever. I don't know what happened. It must have happened when so I started rendering I don't know what happened. It had something to do with the electricity going out the day before with the rendering of the video. But I was making sure as I was uploading the vlog, the first vlog yesterday on, was it the first vlog? I don't remember which vlog it was, but anyway, at some point something happened with the computer and like shut down and restarted. But usually that doesn't stop. Like when it starts up again, like my computer, I just need a new computer, okay? But it like the rendering like keeps on going in iMovie. Well, something happened and I noticed like when I was watching it, it kept on stopping at like it was at like an hour and like 10 minutes, hour 9 minutes or something. Like I kept on like going, because usually I'll just like take it all the way through to make sure that it goes through, because I've had that problem in the past where like it hasn't happened actually probably in a year or two, but it's where like something happens in the rendering process, like the electricity flickers or something, and so it like stops, and that's really when the rendering stops. But it looks like it collected, like yesterday's was like an hour and 24 minutes, but actually, so I go through and I'm like looking at it and I'm like, it looks like it's fine in iMovie, but on the version of it, it kept on stopping. Like on the version I was uploading, it kept on stopping at like an hour and 9 minutes. So I made another version of it. Like I just rendered another version of it. The second version was fine. But what was weird was when I got the first, it was the second vlog that I did yesterday. Because when I got so it must not have, I don't know what happened with it. It was something to do with the computer, like shutting down and overheating. I need a new computer. But anyway, when the first version got up, it was an hour and 24 minutes, but when I looked at the uploaded video, it said like an hour and 9 minutes and 45 or 15 seconds or something. I was like, oh, it stopped like right where I was having the problems. So that must have been where like it stopped at the upload. It just like stopped there. I don't know why. Oh, well, because yesterday, oh, I did forget to tell you guys this. So yesterday, the electricity, after I got done vlogging everything, it flickered again. I think it was while we were watching Real Housewives of Orange County. It was while we were watching Real Housewives of Orange County, because we had just started it, and the electricity went off for like 3 or 4 minutes, because I literally, like, I texted my neighbor about this. Hold on a second. Where is this at? I can tell you exactly what time it was. I literally texted her within 2 seconds. Where's it at? 7:44 p.m. So this is when I was like rendering it. So it must have like gone out while I was rendering it. And I said, did your electricity just go out again and then come back on? And she said, funny, I literally just left again. I'll let you know when I'm back on. It says my cameras are offline, which isn't a good sign. No, yeah, back on. And I said, okay. I said, you leave the house all the time whenever you can get out after the electricity was off. And she said, I can deal with the flickering. I can't, this makes no sense. I turned my AC super low last night because I couldn't sleep. Or it does it, okay, if it does it again, she said I was so hot last night. I was hot the night before too, and I said I was too. And she said, I said we like had the windows open in the back, and she said, yeah, it was so humid. And then she said, I'm driving through the neighborhood right now. It looks like everyone has power. So, but it flickered off and on for just like a minute. So that was at 7:44 yesterday. It like went off and then it came on like a minute later. Because I was like, oh my God, it's going to go off again. Thank God we have all of our stuff charged, right? But that must have been when I was rendering the vlog and it stopped. Because when I did the second one, it was completely fine. So I had to upload the vlog twice last night. An hour and 24 minutes I had to upload twice last night. So that was about 4 hours of uploading. It was like maybe more like 5 hours of uploading vlogs. So I would have got the second vlog up sooner than I did. But yeah. I appreciate you guys like watching 2 vlogs back to back on the same day. Like that was really, really nice. So anyway, Nikki and I were texting. I got very distracted with that show last night. I'll be honest with you. I have to I love the paranormal stuff. I mean, even the alien one was interesting because it wasn't really, it was just about her friend, this woman's friend. The Sherry Shiner stuff, or Shriner, or whatever her name is, that stuff's actually more interesting. There's a whole, like, you know, because it's why she believed in it. It's actually not so much that she really believed in it, I don't think, it was just a way for her to make money off people, because she wanted to be like Barbara Walters, but she went to this school and like nobody would hire her. And she was like this devout, like she went to like this divinity school or something to become a minister. I can't remember how it all happened, but anyway. Because it's like minister, I think I talked about it on here. I had it on my list for videos to make. I wonder if I still have it on here if I ended up taking it off. I put it on here forever ago. Video idea list. Okay, drama video. Do I still have it on here? No, I don't. I took it off there. Did I make notes about it? Aliens. Oh, is this it? Reptilian aliens. Do you want to see my notes on reptilian aliens? Reptilian aliens, question mark. Well, I guess 3/22/24. That would have been when we were in Miami. I guess I could. I guess I can take that one. I guess I can delete that one. I think I turned around when I got done watching that and I said in like a vlog, I said, I think I'm going to do this drama video about reptilian aliens. And I think right after that I got like 3 DMs and people were like, don't. Like those people are really scary. Like if you don't, like it's really like they are whatever. And apparently, and I don't know about this because I haven't looked into it at all, but apparently it's rooted like in anti-Semitism or something. I don't know, but those people just seem like crazy people to me. So anyway, feel free to share in the comment section below if you really believe in it. I don't know about all that. But it's crazy the stuff that people do know when like they'll DM me about stuff. Because I just don't know about a lot of that stuff. So anyway, so I couldn't really get into it. I watched the first episode. It's not bad. I will say it's not bad. Like if I was like laser focused, I mean, Nikki and I were texting like this last night. And just stupid jokes and like sending like, and Tanya and I before that were sending like all these stupid like memes and gifts to each other. I felt very relaxed last night after like Boo Radley, like having a good 2 days with Boo Radley. I was like, okay, if we make it through tonight, this will be 3 nights. Like that's a big deal. When we had, you know, seizure night, 3 seizures. So if we can make it 3 nights, like this is, and he's acting normal again, like this is really a big deal, right? And he's tired, he's wobbly. But, you know, like I was reading that stuff online, a lot of people were like saying like, our dog is so wobbly, like he's wobbly. Like, I mean, it's really like, not like lethargic, like he's wobbly, like he's trotting, but he's like this. Anyway, he's just wobbly. But like there's a spirit in his eyes that's back, and you know, like we walk into a room and he like looks up again and stuff like that. He just, even almost kind of like, I wouldn't say 100% better like where he was like a month ago, but I would say his spirit almost kind of seems like a month ago, if that makes sense. Like the spirit in his eyes, and like I was really worried that he was like totally deaf. I've talked about that for a while because I would go walk into a room and he just like, you know, like he wouldn't really like notice that I walked into a room unless I like, you know, shouted real loud like Boo Radley, and then he kind of like look up. But now every time we look in the room, you know, last night wherever I walked, he was like right next to me. You know, he was so attention seeking to us, which I've actually read online that with a lot of dogs that are going through stuff like this was another thing, and their dogs become like very attached, like, which, you know, feels very safe around you and stuff like that. So I don't know, he's been very, very sweet, and he is my little superhero. In the last 24 hours, in the last 3 days, he's just done so great. He's just a little trooper. I'm so proud of him. So anyway, I watched that last night, and then I was like, I cannot continue to watch this. So I was like, I gotta watch something else. And I was like, watching the second one, which is about aliens, and something about it reminded me of this movie. Now, I've talked about both of these movies on here before, but they're both on YouTube, so I'm gonna share them with you. So I was like, that movie that I loved when I was a kid, it came out in 1981. I was like, what was that movie that I loved as a kid? I knew Burl Ives was in it. That was about aliens. It's like this alien family comes and stays with Burl Ives and his grandson in his cabin. And I was like, so I looked at Burl Ives alien movies, and then I ended up reading the whole Wikipedia about Burl Ives and how he was 85 when he died, and like how he died and all this kind of stuff. So, and his wives, he was married, then he was divorced, and he got married again, all this kind of stuff, where he lived in the Puget Sound. I mean, I knew everything about Burl Ives that you would ever want to know. I mean, I've always loved Burl Ives because of his music, and, you know, Rudolph and the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the claymation cartoon stuff. But anyway, so it was Earthbound, and I was like, there's no way. I mean, I think I deleted it, but I screenshot it and sent it to Nikki. Well, then I would have it in my text, wouldn't I? Come on, Peter, be smarter than that. Where is it at? Because she's like, what show are you watching? Because then she was telling me about the show that she used to love as a little kid. And we were trying to figure out what it was called. and she was like, I have to search for this movie I want to watch. I don't know what it's called, so I got to search. And I said, what it's about. She goes, there's a witch and this girl with a stuffed animal, and she goes into her mirror, and she goes, oh my God, I found it. It's called the Hug a Bunch movie. She said she's going to watch it today. Let's just cook and stuff. So this was the movie, this was my movie, okay, called Earthbound from 1981. A very spacey comedy starring Burl Ives, Christopher Connolly, Meredith somebody. I don't know who these people, I know who Burl Ives is, but anyway, it's so bad, you guys. I literally watched half of it last night on the YouTube. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. It's Earthbound. Just put in Earthbound 1981 movie, okay? So it's about Burl Ives and his grandson. His grandson lives with him because his parents have died. I know it's tragic, but I mean the movie came out in 1981. So anyway, but then his grandfather, Burl Ives owns this hotel in town. They live in this like, it's interesting because they live in like this kind of shitty cabin, but then they own this like majestic hotel that kind of looks like the Stanley Hotel, and from like The Shining. But so they own this huge hotel in town, but then this family comes. So anyway, there's like, they're going to watch fireworks some night. They live like in the mountains somewhere, like in Montana or somewhere, Colorado, I don't know where. But anyway, and then the UFO service or something puts out that there's going to be a UFO in the area. And so then everybody in town sees this UFO fly over. It's a real fake UFO. And then they don't know where it goes. And so everybody's hunting the woods and all this kind of stuff. Well, the UFO goes in the lake. And so then the family pops out. They've got all these matching uniforms on. They have a monkey, too. Okay? The monkey's name is Gil or Jill or something like that. And so the monkey, it's got green paint on it, this monkey. And so none of it makes sense. And they're like traveling down the road in this RV and all this kind of stuff. It's so bad. I don't know. It's one of those adventure movies that I like as a kid, like loved. Like, God, could we just find some aliens and have them come live with us, Mom? You know, that kind of thing. So anyway, this came out in 1981. So I would have been 8 or 9 years old when it came out. I do remember like watching it on TV and we had it recorded. So anyway, so then it's about like they're trying to hide this family, but the family has to find this like material, this element on Earth so they can like go through this window to get into their solar system or their star system or whatever to get their machine running back up. I didn't finish it. I made it halfway through. But then I was going through and I was thinking about like movies that I used to love, right? Like kind of like, you know, from my Peter Does Stuff channel. And then I was like, what was that movie with Matt Dillon that I used to love back in the day? And I like so related to it because it was like my friends in high school, which is not, that's not saying a lot, okay? The movie's called Over the Edge. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. Okay, there were 2 movies that I used to love back in the day, Over the Edge and Foxes with Jodie Foster. And they're like, I wouldn't say they're good role modeling movies, okay? There's like lots of drugs in the movies, and they're just kind of rebellious kids. Foxes is about, if you've never seen Foxes with Jodie Foster, it's fantastic. It's with 4 girls, and the mother of Jodie Foster says something about like, you girls think you're 35 or something like that, and all this kind of stuff. And the girl from The Runaways is in it, Cherry, I can't remember her name, Cherry or something like that. I love her. She's so good in the movie. But anyway, she's in Foxes. You've never seen Foxes. The soundtrack is literally on the radio by Donna Summer, and it's like the whole movie. They play that song through it. If you've never seen Foxes, you should see it. If I can find it on Tubi, I'm picking that as a movie. But anyway, so I love the movie Foxes. Well, I loved it when I was younger, like late teen years. We all watched it, like when we were in high school and stuff like that. But Over the Edge, I can remember my friend and I watching it. It's like Matt Dillon was like 14 or 15 when the movie was filmed, and it's about all these kids in like this suburban area, and they're like rebels and they're doing a bunch of drugs and stuff like that. It's supposed to be like this movie of like, it's real sad though. It's real sad. And so I was like looking it up last night, and then I was like, what happened to all these people that are like 15 years older than me when I was watching this movie, right? So anyway, I was like looking up what all these people, where they are today and stuff like that. Because, I know why I came on this movie. Okay, because I was watching Earthbound, and there was this scene in Earthbound where the kid that lives with his grandfather, he is playing, this is how my mind works, okay? People think, they're like, how do you remember this stuff? I do not know how my mind works, but this is how my mind works. So I'm watching this scene from Earthbound, right? This is when I stopped watching it. And this kid is on a basketball team, and he's going to the park with his alien friend to introduce him to all of his friends. And so his basketball team beat this other basketball team. So then they're like, oh, well, we want to challenge you again for your bikes, okay? And so then they're going to have this basketball game, which then the alien controls, and they win the basketball game. But anyway, but when they're there, there's this kid, and he's like this little kid, and I'm like, one of these kids in Over the Edge, if you watch the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's the kid that does a bunch of acid. And they were showing this movie at the school about why you shouldn't do acid. But he took acid before they showed this movie about why you shouldn't do acid. But if you remember him from the movie, like, he's real distinct. And, like, you would remember this. Like, I mean, you just would remember if you ever saw him before. So I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, but in Over the Edge, he's like 14 or 15 in that movie. In this movie, it's like this like 8-year-old kid. And I'm like, is that the same kid? So I'm like looking up I'm like, is that the kid that was in Over the Edge? So I'm like looking up the cast of this Over the Edge. I'm like, no, none of these people look like the kid I remember. So finally I come across, then I'm like in this thread reading about whatever happened to, his name was changed. His name was like Cowboy Stevens or something for the movie or something like that. Or I don't know, Ranger John or something like that. But that wasn't his real name. And people were like, in the 90s, he left high school and he was on debate team. And I don't know whatever happened to him, but he was in those 2 movies. People were like asking where he was and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, I finally was like, I went to like his IMDb or whatever. And it said Earthbound. And I was like, oh my God, Peter, how did you spot that? You are too smart. So then I was like, well, what other old movies I used to love? And I was like, I wanted to go in. Okay, so do you guys remember me telling you about, I think I may have like figured this out on my own because somebody said it in a comment or something like that. Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, you selling lots of houses today?
Not yet.
Working on it?
Did you lose your power?
We did lose our power. Did you?
No.
No, you were on the other side though.
No, down here.
Well, you're on the other side of the street, yeah.
I was very happy.
Yeah, we were out for about 24 hours, but
Yeah, that's rough.
yeah.
Got it back.
Good to see you. So, what was I going to say? Oh, so I was thinking, okay, I've talked about this movie on here before. I feel like, because I wanted to share it with you guys, because I started watching it last night. There was kind of a reason why I didn't really want to watch it, but I was like, I'm watching this movie anyway, because like this movie has like some kind of memory to me. So, do you guys remember me telling you about when I was like in high school? I think the movie came out in 1988. I can remember my friends that were twins, the 3 of us and this one other girl watching this movie. But when I watched it last night, I only watched like a third or a fourth of it because I was like, I want to save this because it was, at that point it was getting kind of late. And I was like, you need to get a good night's sleep. So I think I went to bed about 4 o'clock last night, which is early for me, you know. So but what was weird about watching it was, like, I knew some of the lines before the girl said it in the movies. And I was like, this is, like, we must have watched this movie a lot, and I just don't remember it that way. I feel like we watched it a lot more than I knew. I've literally looked for this movie, I don't know, for 30 years. I've looked for this movie, like, on, well, not 30 years, but when eBay came around, and I've been looking for this movie forever, okay? And the movie was a remake of the 1960 movie called I Saw What You Did and I Know Who You Are, because they would do this phone call thing where they would say, I saw what you did and I know who you are. But they do it to a guy that, like, it's these teenage girls, and they do it to this guy that, like, they murder, right? Or that murdered somebody. So then he, like, comes to try to find him. For years and years, I can't even begin to tell you what it was like watching this movie last night. I was like, okay, so a couple years ago, I talked about this on a vlog, and somebody was like, you're talking about the movie Lisa. Now, the movie Lisa, which is available on Tubi, and I really thought I was, except for I was like, I think at one point I talked on here about how it was with Shawnee Smith and whatever the girl's name is, Lauren something. I looked them up last night, and their Wikipedias and the whole thing, all this kind of stuff. So, the movie Lisa, hold on a second. Here it is. It's with Cheryl Ladd. See, they're talking on the phone, these 2 girls. So I swear to God, I thought this was the movie. Stacey Keenan is in it. I just talked about this not too long ago. Do you remember? And I watched it. So somebody was like, I don't even remember what I said in a previous vlog. So I have no clue what I said and what I came up with or whatever. I think I watched it. I was like, this still isn't the movie that I think it is or whatever. Maybe I said that it was the movie that I watched. I don't remember. All I know is I could never find this movie. Well, somebody recently, on all these stupid pages that I'm recommended on Facebook that I don't even follow, they put up a screenshot, okay, of this movie, I Saw What You Did. And I was like, oh my God. So last night I was thinking about it because I screenshot it, and I was like, I want to go in and I want to go, I think it's 1988. Hold on a second. I Saw What You Did. 1988. Here it is. With Shawnee Smith, Tammy Lauren, and Robert Carradine. When I saw this poster, I was like, this is the movie that I've been looking for 30 years. I could not believe it. Well, I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to find it online. It's on YouTube. There's like 3 editions on YouTube. One of them is from this channel. I started watching this last night. I want to tell you guys what this channel is. It's so bad, but it's so cute, and they're so, like, really into it. I gotta tell you what the channel is called, because some people out there might be into it, so I want to send some people their way. I saw what you did. Hold on a second. Okay, the channel is called Creature Features, okay? And when you go to it, it says on here, here's this chick. I thought this was Eugenia Cooney, okay, in all honesty. Her name is, on here, it says Tangela is her name. So it's this guy with, like, long hair that kind of looks like Robert Smith from The Cure. So it says, it's always Halloween on Creature Features. Vincent, Tangela, and Livingston bring the best and the worst horror and science fiction movies to you each and every week. Carried on over 50 I didn't know it was a TV station. Television stations across the continental United States. Creature Features is also seen around the world on YouTube, Vimeo, Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. I did not know this. The program debuted in October of 2016 and has delivered brand new episodes each week sent from the historic Poulter Mansion. It's like really filmed well. Like the quality of the filming is good. In Bodega Bay, California. Films are licensed and fees are paid to the appropriate rights holders. Do you have, okay, creaturefeatures.tv. But if you go to YouTube, it's good. It reminds me of, like, Sammy Terry was who I grew up with back in the day. Sammy Terry was like this guy that dressed up as a vampire. And I wonder if they have Sammy Terry on here. Hold on a second. I did not watch that version of it. I watched, like, the whole intro until they got to the movie, but I watched the other one. Sammy Terry. I wonder if they still have him, if they have any clips of him. They've got to. Oh my god, they have Sammy Terry full episodes. Here he is! Oh my god, do you see him? There's Sammy Terry. So when I was a little kid, I would watch, I think that there's like a new Sammy Terry. I think it's like his son or something like that. But Sammy Terry, oh my god, look at this. This is so crazy. So Sammy Terry would have like these spiders. I mean, they were so supposed to be fake, but they would like hang down, and we as like kids would watch these movies. But he would do like these really bad like horror, like they would watch horror movies. And so like, you know, before it in commercials, he would like be like, oh, the Blob, we're so scared of the Blob. Well, this is the same thing, and it's this guy, I don't know what his name is, Vincent or whatever, and then like his butler, and then this girl named Tangela. And before this one, she's like blowing all these bubbles. It's so like badly acted and stuff that it's almost kind of cute. So Creature Features, go check it out. And they do like only like old movies. So anyway, so I found it and I started watching it last night. The only problem is that Candace Cameron Bure, I cannot stand her, okay? Candace Cameron Bure, not a friend of the gays, it plays the little sister in it. She's probably like 10 in it, okay? So when it, like, there's a part where she comes out and she's sick, and I was like, then I was like, that when she, it was so funny because when she came out, I was like, oh my god, like, this was like before like Full House days, I think. I was like, this is like, now I know. Like, this is the movie. I just suddenly like remembered it. But it was so funny because there's this one scene when they're like in the garage, the two girls, and they open the door and there's like a guy standing there and they say something, and I was like, I totally remembered like every line of like, where she says something about her like smoking pot and all this, like, do you want to get high and all this kind of stuff. Like, I remember, like, she asked her for dinner, and she goes, she just invited me over for dinner. Like, I remember, like, my friends and I saying these lines, but it was weird because, like, I remembered us sitting there watching it, but I don't remember us, like, saying the lines back and forth to each other. Not really. So anyway, I watched that. I got, like, I don't know, a third of the way through it or a fourth, and I was like, okay, I gotta go to bed. So I finished watching that, or I didn't finish watching that, but I might finish watching it tonight. But now I know. I mean, I can't not finish it after I've looked for it for 30 years, you know? I haven't drank any of this coffee. Pumpkin spice, did I tell you that? Even with Candace Cameron Bure in there. She's not getting any money off of it. Well, I don't know if she is. What, a cent or something like that? Anyway. So, I probably won't even finish it. I've got so many shows now to watch. I can't wait for all these shows to come out in October. So then I went to bed. And when I went to bed, Boo Radley was asleep, and he was sleeping in his little purple bed, which Alex had moved up on the bed. And then Alex rolled over, and I put my arm over it, and Boo Radley had his little paw up like this, with his little head over the side of the bed, and he slept through the night until he had to get his medicine today. And yeah, so he's doing really, really good. I feel very, very blessed. I'm very grateful. I think it's also reinforcing me for my goal of living in the moment, right? Like, because it's really enforcing me, like, take it day by day. Take each day and just live in the moment and enjoy each moment. So, I'm doing that. I'm trying not to borrow trouble. I'm trying not to live in the past or the future. I've always struggled with that as a person in recovery. There are days that I do better than others. I think relying on my support system, my sponsor, Tanya, Alex, obviously, Mel and Nikki have been so fantastic. My neighbors, everybody, Caroline keeps on texting about it. Everybody has been so fantastic. I'm really, really grateful. And everybody's been so helpful. So, yeah. And Mel is still recovering from her tooth. She's doing great, though. She'll be back at work tomorrow. And she's just resting and all that kind of stuff. So it was a good idea that we canceled the book club today. Because she's like still super tired and whatever. I don't think that she probably would have been in any, we would have had to have canceled it anyway. So yeah, so since, God, I've been vlogging for a while now, haven't I? So since I'm not, oh my Lord, it's 5:06 p.m. Oh my Lord. Another long vlog today. I mean, not long. This is average for back in the day, an hour and a half, but I was talking about the Halloween Town movies. Okay, so somebody said there are 3 Halloween Town movies, but millennials don't talk about the third one. Why don't we talk about the third one? Is there like a secret with that? Dawn said, I think you look handsome with your glasses. Doesn't age you at all. You're so sweet. Thank you. I'm gonna look at the Hell House movies again. Melissa said, thanks for telling us you'd post if something happened with Boo. I was worried when there wasn't a vlog. I'm glad you all 3 are okay. Thank you so much, Melissa. Yeah, I mean, like, if I can, I mean, obviously, if something happens and I mean, my first thought is not, and no offense, but like, if I'm going through something like really tragic, obviously my first thought isn't, if I'm, okay and can get to it, is not like, well, let me post and make sure that, but I had just talked about Boo Radley. And it wasn't related to Boo Radley. It was because the electricity was out. So I didn't want anybody to worry because I knew that people were going to be like, he hasn't posted. He just talked about Boo Radley. So I knew that. I was, if I can in situations like that, if something isn't stopping me, then I will, of course, come right back and post it as, something as soon as I can. Because I don't want anybody to worry about it. You guys are so kind to me. You're so loving to me. I don't want anybody to worry about that. And, so many people are like, Boo's part of us. Boo's like the mascot. We love Boo, and like that means so much to me. And I don't want anybody to like worry unnecessarily about that. So, yeah, just always look at the community tab to make sure, because I will post, because I know a lot of people aren't in the Vloggerinas group, so I post both of those places. The thing is with 7 channels, like, when our electricity was out and I was like, okay, it looked like it was going to be another day yesterday without the electricity. That's why I posted finally on my Peter Monn channel. I mean, there's channels that go weeks that don't, or a week don't post anything, but they're active on social media. I have been active on Instagram. So I was like, okay, like I had posted stuff on my Instagram story. So I kind of thought, well, if he's posting Thumbly and the Squirrel, then Peter's got to be, I mean, he's not going to be posting Thumbly and the Squirrel. I'm not going to post that, okay? I can tell you right now. If something would happen, I'm not going to be, like, just posting random shit on Instagram. I'm not the kind of person that's going to get people to worry for no reason. Like, I'm going to put out a statement or I won't be posting at all, if that makes sense. But so many people were so nice and so kind, so I wanted to put that out. But I really didn't think I was going to be able to even post a vlog yesterday as well, because it was getting later, and I thought the electricity's not coming on. So that's why I put it out there. But then I'm kind of like, I mean, some of my channels, like my Peterisms channel, my BookTube channel, my Peter Watches TV channel, my review channel, I don't post over there every single day. And so I was like, does it even make sense to put it over here? So I ended up yesterday putting a post on my community tab. I will, if something happens, like, that you guys ever need to know, like, I'm taking a few days off because something bad happens, please check my community tabs as well. I will definitely, if I'm, like, taking, like, some indefinite time off because of something, I will definitely put it on my community tab for the vlog and also the Peter Monn channel. At least those 2 places. Yesterday, I also put it up on my Peter Does Stuff channel because the last video that I had done was, I think I explained this yesterday, the last video that I had done was about, The camera stopped again. This is going long. Was about my weight loss journey update. And in there, I talked about Boo Radley and what had been going on with him a little bit. So I knew that people had watched that and were kind of like probably waiting to see if I came back. So I know I don't look at people's community tabs. That's not my first go-to. I'll be honest with you. Like if I look to see somebody post something on their videos, they haven't posted. I rarely go to their community tabs unless it's somebody that I'm like, okay, they haven't posted in forever. Like I'm a little worried about them, what's going on. Then I do go look at their community tabs. But it's not my first place to go. I will tell you the last place to go is Twitter. I don't even think I post the Halloween countdown anymore. I can't even tell you the last time. I hardly even go to Twitter anymore, if you want to know the truth. I might go over there once every couple days or something like that. It was just random that I went over there last night and saw that this person sent this to me about this fake account. When was the last time that I even posted anything on Twitter? Oh, I did just read. On 9/20, I reshared the Halloween countdown. And then before that, it was 9/9, then 9/1, the Halloween countdown. Yeah, I mean, it's literally all just Halloween countdown. Halloween countdown. I mean, that's all I repost. Christmas countdown is in between there. Christmas countdown, Halloween countdown, Halloween countdown, Christmas countdown, Halloween countdown, Christmas countdown. Yeah, all the way back till July. So, if I post it somewhere, it won't be on Twitter. I'll be posting on, I'll post it on my Instagram. Instagram, Vloggerinos group. Also, because I also know that in the Vloggerinos group, people in there will comment on my other videos and kind of get the word out if something happened. This is just, I'm just kind of like, you know, saying this in case anything would ever happen in the future again, that people would kind of know and whatever. So, yeah. Hey, how are you? No pickleball tonight?
No, tomorrow.
Oh, when's the last day? Do you know?
Depends on the weather, too.
Oh, it does, yeah. Well, I hope you don't get pickled. You're the one that taught me what that means.
All right.
She's so sweet. When I was in the hospital, speaking of like pancreatitis, when I was in the hospital, like this is the thing. Like I can remember being in there and I was like so weird about posting something, but I also didn't want people to worry. And so I was like, and I mean, it would be easy for me to like have Alex or Mel or something like that post something, but I'm like, then I feel like if somebody else is posting for me, it seems like so much worse. I don't remember even, honestly, when I posted or what I posted about being in the hospital. I think I posted some statement and said something about, you know, being in the hospital for pancreatitis or whatever. But like a situation like that where I know like I'm going to be like out for a couple days, definitely, obviously I'll post something. But it also feels weird too. It's like we criticize people for like, that's your first thought. Like you're sitting in like a hospital room and you're letting people know. But then like, if you don't let people know, people are like, I mean, I can't tell you how many DMs I got from people, even after I made the post. But when I finally put something on Instagram, they're like, thank God I was so worried about you. I was like checking your videos to make sure that you had posted something because I was really worried about Boo Radley. So I think that there's like, when people, like I'll see people that post stuff and people be like, why are they posting stuff from the hospital? Because they don't, like, they want to let people know what's going on because they don't want people to worry about them at the same time too. It's like, or that's why I mean, I just put like a statement, you know, like typically out or whatever. But anyway, she and my neighbor across the street were the ones that cleaned my front walk when I had pancreatitis and I was in the hospital last year. Which, by the way, I need to get out here and clean up these weeds for fall. Although, it looks like weather, it is going to be rather warm. Let's see when it's like, does it get cold at all? Let's go up to the very, okay. I got the 13th of October, 69, 70, I'm going back. 71, 70, I mean, we're going to be in the 70s all of October. This, hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. That's the one, I can see her dog. That's the woman that was at the pool that my neighbor was pissed about because she had her dog in the pool. But she's real nice to me. She's real nice to me, but they don't get along. Let's see what Indiana, people keep on saying it's supposed to have this like horrible winter. Indiana, winter, weather, 2024. It's always the same thing, but it's always, most of Indiana has equal chances for below and above average temperatures. Like, what does that even mean? This winter from December 2024 through February 2025, according to a seasonal temperature outlook map issued Thursday. Forecasters say this year's winter could also be a wet one. Oh, here's from the Indianapolis Star. This is a local newspaper. other weather predictions. Farmer's Almanac. Okay, what's the Farmer's Almanac gives Midwest its fall/winter 2024-25 forecast, but here's what. Okay, what is the NOAA? I don't know what the NOAA is. National. Okay, we're on a map. That doesn't really show anything. Equal chances. And all this stuff is wrong. There's a good chance for Hoosiers. That's what we're in Indiana. Hoosier Daddy. Who enjoy sweater weather paired with pumpkin spice lattes. This is fall. The Farmer's Almanac, not to be confused with the old Farmer's Almanac. Is there something bad about the old Farmer's Almanac? I don't even know. Is predicting cloudy, cold October skies for the Midwest. Well, we already know that's not true. Fall will be frosty and wet in the Great Lakes, Midwest region, while the temperatures in the North Central region might be downright frigid with lots of fall flakes and rain. No. The Midwest and Great Lakes region could see snowy weather in October. They said that would be north of here. But that doesn't necessarily mean a repeat of how frigid trick-or-treating got last year around Indianapolis. Oh, I guess, was it cold last year? I don't remember that. I feel like kind of maybe it was. I don't remember that. Where is it going on? Oh, it's taking me to something else. I can't continue to read this. It won't let me read this article. Oh, wait. Indiana's past winter, like most of the country, was warmer than average. January looks like when the big freeze may be on for that area. I don't know who this person is. Does it say? The Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and Midwest region, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin can expect periods of wet snow and rain to begin in early November with frigidly cold temperatures through November 11th. I just read you the temperatures through October 13th, so it must get real cold right after that. Rain and wet snow continues to Thanksgiving. It says right here on this map, cold, this is our winter, cold, wet, and white. I mean, we're like this area right here, out of all of this, like the northwest, chilly wet. The plains, cold average snowfall. South, mild wet, mild near to below normal precipitation. California in that area, average temperatures and precipitation. Vermont, Maine, mild and wet, and like all the other areas, moderate temperatures, wet and white. And Indiana, cold, wet, and white. We're supposed to get the most snow in the United States. Now you know that that's not going to happen. We'll probably have one day of snow. In mid-March, a rapidly moving storm is expected to. Is that my neighbors across the street? Where are you guys going?
For a walk.
For a walk?
Yeah.
Those are my neighbors in the corner. In mid-March, a rapidly moving storm is expected to bring 2 to 5 inches of wet snow to Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. 2 to 5 inches of wet snow. Why are we doing this? Why are we predicting 2 to 5 inches of snow in March? That is nothing. The 1st of April is also predicted to bring cold rain, sleet, and wet snow to Kentucky, southern Indiana. They already stopped walking to talk to somebody. I can hear them down there. I don't know where they went, but she's talking about her fun outfits. What is wrong with... I want to know what the old... Why would they make such a distinction? What is wrong with the old... I think people just think I'm supposed to know everything. I don't, as a drama channel, I'm done. With the old Farmer's Almanac. So can people all talk about something? People like, didn't you know in 1986? I'm like, no, I never have heard that before today. Some say that the old Farmer's Almanac has several issues, including accuracy. While the almanac claims to be 80% accurate, studies show that it's only about 50%. Well, what about the new Farmer's Almanac that said we're supposed to get 2 to 5 inches of snow in March? Okay, I could have predicted that from my front porch. I don't even have an almanac. This makes it less reliable than modern meteorology for long-term forecasts. I think it's all a joke, if you want to know the truth. I just really do. Outdated formula. Some meteorologists say the almanac's formula is outdated and not based on scientific data. Well, I could have told you that. Broad regions. The almanac's predictions cover large regions and may not be accurate for specific locations. I've literally watched the weather, and they're like, we're not supposed to have any rain this weekend. It's going to be beautiful, and then it storms in Indiana. I don't think that modern meteorology is any better. And I know there's that one person out there whose great-grand-uncle is a meteorologist, and she just loves him because he bought her a Cabbage Patch doll and took her to the zoo when she was a little kid. She's going to be like, don't talk about meteorologists. I'm like, listen, okay? Listen, I'm going to have my opinions, that part. See, because I'm going to steal Niecy Nash's line, that part. I'm going to have my opinions. I can't read with these glasses on. Okay. Solar activity. The almanac uses solar activity and sunspots. I don't know about all that. Lack of transparency. The almanac keeps its method close to the vest and does publish evidence to back up its claims. It uses a secret formula created in 1792 that includes factors like sunspot activity. I thought it was going to have like more drama about it than that. I was like, I'm going to make a drama video about why the Farmer's Almanac is bad. I thought it was going to be a bunch of witchcraft or something like that. I did. I was so excited. I mean, it's Halloween. I could imagine all these, like, you know, witchy people, like, up in, like, some barn, and they're, like, putting together this stew, and they're like, we're going to read this stew and see what storm. I know, I just pissed off about 4 witches out there. I love some witches out there. Do you? Okay? I love Halloween. But anyway, or witches. I know, then I pissed off some more. They're like, we're witches year-round. You can't say anything anymore. I know. I love witchy people. I do. Do you? But anyway, but I thought it would be more scandalous than that. I don't know about all that. Anyway, did you know about that? Did you get the Farmer's Almanac? What's the difference? I've seen it in the store. The Fresh Time, they have it. Here's the picture. Yeah, here's, yeah, right here. It's that yellow one. That's the old Farmer's Almanac. What's the new Farmer's Almanac? This one since is this the new one? The orange one? Is that the new one? I know somebody knows all this stuff. Who is yelling my name? Hello? Oh, it wasn't yelling my name. So. What is going on down here? Are we having races or something? Happy new almanac year. It's time to celebrate the 231st edition of the Old Farmer's Almanac, long recognized as North America's most beloved and best-selling annual. Should I get one? I mean, we now know that they're not problematic except for sunspots, and I've got a few of those. Or are they problematic? I don't know. They sell them all over the place. It has to do with about everything you may not have had the chance to ask your great-grandmother about. I never met my great-grandmother. I use the Farmer's Almanac quite a bit. When I'm gardening, like when to plant my veggies and things, and I used to view the planets, meteor showers. Oh, that's kind of fun. These are the reviews. A great book for growing a garden and fishing. I don't do those things. Oh, here it says something about witches. 2023 Old Farmer's Almanac Trade Edition. It says, what is this on here? It says, Witches Through the History. I knew it. I knew it. What is that? Maybe that has nothing to do with it, probably. No, see, it doesn't show anything about that. What's Witches Through the History? Cat Gurus. Cat Gurus. It's another book that's recommended down there for all you cat people out there. I asked Boo Radley if he wanted to get a kitten. He said he didn't think so, but thank you for asking. Oh, my Lord. Okay. Should I get an Old Farmer's Almanac for 2025? That would... Let me make a Peter, that would be on my Peter Does Stuff channel, right? People would be like, why didn't you put this on your YouTube channel? Because I didn't. I mean, I didn't. That part. But, let me get the Farmer's Almanac and then do a series. A series on my Peter Does Stuff channel. Where I'm literally reading and responding to parts of the Farmer's Almanac. Don't think I haven't already thought this when I saw it at the Fresh Time. I was like, I'm going to do this series on my Peter Does Stuff channel where I read parts of the Farmer's Almanac getting ready for 2025. I think that might be kind of fun, don't you? People have said that they're like, Peter, you could read the phone book. I did a whole, oh, there's that car, that fancy car coming again. It's a pretty car. It's got like red inside tires and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, Somebody said one time back in the day, they said, and this is like 8 years ago, they said, Peter, I could listen to you read the phone book. And I just truly did read the phone book. I don't even think we have a phone book in the house anymore. But anyway, all right, I'm going to get off here now. I've been talking forever. I'm going to get off here. I'm going to go inside. There's total. I heard Alex come down here and like throw something in the trash and go upstairs. So anyway, I'm going to go check on my guys and see how Alex and Boo Radley are doing. Praying for another night, 4 nights, hopefully with no seizures. He's doing great. I hope that you guys are safe. I hope that you're doing great. Lots of love and prayers for those people out there that were in the line of the storm. And I hope that you guys are all safe and doing okay today. For anybody else that's going through anything right now, I just want to say I'm sending lots of love and prayers to you. If you're going through a hard time right now, you're going to be okay. Okay, I know it's hard, but you're going to be okay. And the sun will shine again. So I'm going to do my outro today because Amanda said that she liked the long outro yesterday. So for Amanda, I'm going to do the outro today. Well, for all of you, I'm going to do the outro. So anyway, I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Sunday, my favorite day of the year, and that you're getting refreshed, rejuvenated, renewed, and relaxed for the week ahead. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. I cannot see the camera with these glasses, unless I have to take these glasses off. Also, also these 3 important things. 1, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know. That's the 3rd thing. Number 1, oh, number 1, you can start your day over whenever you want to, or your week, or your weekend. So if you're watching this on Monday morning and your week and your day gets started, just go, I'm going to start my day over. I'm going to start my week over from now on. It's going to be a good week. You can start your day or your week over whenever you need to. 2, practice random acts of kindness, but shh, don't tell anyone. Just do it because it's a nice thing to do. And 3, most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. A text, a phone call, postcard, a letter, whatever. You never know. Like I always say, you might be putting a smile on their face. You might be changing their day for the better. You might be, and see what my neighbor did with that just random act of kindness. That was so sweet, you know? But you never know. And you also, you know, might be giving them a little hope, and you might be the happiest moment of their day. You don't know. Also, be kinder to one another. Love one another a little bit more. Like Julie says, Julie Chen Munez, I can't ever pronounce her last name, on Big Brother, from outside the Big Brother house. Love one another. So be kind to one another. Be kinder to one another. Love one another a little bit more. That's important. And most importantly, be kinder to yourself and love yourself a little bit more. Because the kinder you are to yourself, the kinder you will be to others. And the more you love yourself, the more you will love others as well. It is statistically fact and research that the most miserable people out there that are dealing with the hardest stuff and have a lot of their own insecurities and issues that they're not working on typically take it out on other people. So it's important to be kind to yourself and love yourself, because if not, then we're going to respond to the world in like. So please make sure that you're taking care of yourself. We all need to do that, not just me and talking about it. All of us need to do that out there. So I'm wanting that for myself, but I'm also wanting that for you. And I love you guys so much, and thank you for hanging out with me. And tomorrow, if I vlog tomorrow, which I'm planning on it, will be 6 months of consistently vlogging every single day. And yeah, so anyway, and we're going to keep on going. I'm not taking a day off, so we'll keep on going. Anyway, I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Sunday and getting ready for the week ahead. I love you so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you. Oh, and for those that just happened to stick around and hear me sing, one more I love you. I love you guys so much. Cheers to some pumpkin spice. I love you, and cheers to Halloween and October. Even if you don't like Halloween, then cheers to Christmas. If you don't like Christmas, then cheers to New Year's. If you don't like New Year's, then make up your own holiday, and cheers to that. Cheers to you. Cheers to you. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you. Happy birthday, Lena.